4 by bell hooks. Earthworks. Thick brown mud clinging, pulling a body down. Here wounded earth cry, bequeath to me the hope, ancestral rites that turn the ground over to shovel and sift until history, rewritten, resurrected, returns to its rightful owners. A past to claim. Yet another stone lifted to throw against the enemy, making way for new endings. Random seeds spreading over the hillside, wild roses, come by fierce wind and hard rain. Unleashed furies here in this untouched wood, a dirge, a lamentation for earth to live again. Earth, that is, all at once a grave, a resting place, a bed of new beginnings. Avalanche of splendor.
Uduasha City, where the sun is a mirror and the moon a shadow, where dancers cavort in forbidden operas, making love to forgetting and flaying, where the wealthy play at war with silver swords and silken sashes, where the people mine the dead heart of a burning star for cannonballs and pipework, and where 1,000 secrets hide in a forest of paper and ink. Here, the 5 keybearers reside, the 5 who know the secrets of the broken gates of death. 5 only. There is no 6th spire, forlorn and forgotten in the desert. There is no one who looks to the displaced, the poor and destitute and landless, whose ancestry has been stripped from them by foreign looms and foreign sparkcraft, and no one has ever heard of the House of Ending. But this is their story. Their roots pulled up and burned, they stand in filth up to their necks, and that is precisely why they must keep their heads ever high. Welcome to Uduasha, immigrant. May it fear the name of the house you will build. Welcome to Desperate Attune, an actual play podcast about characters with their identities in peril, played by an international cast devoted to fiction-first gaming, collaborative world-building, and complex character drama. Welcome back to Desperate Attune, everyone. As always, I am going to be GMing a session of Blades in the Dark. I don't know why I framed it that way, but I am Prince. I'm hosting this podcast. With me is Tree. Hello, Tree. A special UK-based Tree this time.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, this is what Tree sounds like in the UK. With me is also Klow.
Hello, Prince. I am always with you.
Yes. Thank you, brother. With me is also Aadiyat.
As always, hello.
Hello. And an extra special... No, wait. A UK edition of Salty. Hello, Salty.
Am I not normally in the UK?
Yeah, I just realized, so I don't know why I said that. But
Now,
but...
turns out my usual UK residence is not normally in the UK. Thank you, Prince, for this important geography fact.
Yes.
I do think it's important that people in Singapore be permitted to define what is and isn't the UK. I think
It's cool, people. I've been to the UK many times. Once I was there twice. Anyway.
Sorry, I do think that's quite funny. Go on.
That was very good. That was very good.
Anyway, last time we engaged in a battle against the Ustad Jaiklev of the Falling Star Sword School, the long-running nemesis of the crew in general, but Saida in particular, who has a history going back with Jaiklev 45 years or so. A long time ago, they fought, they became rivals, Saida left, and this is a rivalry that has been resumed on what appears to be philosophical or perhaps even religious grounds, but it has always been a little unclear. He has just been the leader of the biggest and most established sword school that is now on the way down. The Ustad turns out to be a terrifying swordsman, far exceeding any of his students. He has already gone toe-to-toe with the Umpire, the creature that resides in the blackened mango forest, and survived. And he is proving to be more than a challenge for both Mushfiq and Clem coming at him at once. However, in spite of all of this, Clem has managed to heave a Kethrisi table into the well of the Udu, where this fight is taking place, on the rim of the Great Fire at the center of Uduasha. And the reason why this matters is that the table is made from one of the Kethrisi ancestor trees. With the sacrifice of the table, Saida has completed one of their grand rituals to end the past and bring about the Prince of Endings, whatever that means.
The King of Beginnings.
Yeah. With this sacrifice, the mysterious god that Saida has been working on bringing about into the world is beginning to manifest. And this is the backdrop at which we will cut back to Saida, Clem, and Mushfiq. But while this is happening, Bidruhi has been engaging in changes of a very different nature. As a high-profile person in the prison system, Bidruhi has met two vastly different factions, both involved in criminal justice corruption. One of them being a mysterious order of vigilantes, simply called the Vigilant, who we don't really know that much about yet. Bidruhi doesn't even know they exist, but we have mentioned them out of character. They have judged him after he dealt with an incident, but he has also met with the crime lord Munna, who is charismatic and genial gentleman who has been known to exploit the Kethrisi before, and exploit them quite badly. Munna was indeed indirectly responsible for the death of Bidruhi's father. But he claims to have turned over a new leaf now and is wanting to work with the Kethrisi, and with Bidruhi and his crew specifically. I think that's about a summary of where we were at. Have I missed something?
No, I don't think so. We talked a decent bit about like Ventekish and annexes and so on, but like we didn't really get into that.
Yeah. You spoke a bit with Moon about future plans, which includes maybe getting his help in hitting the highly corrupt banker that is behind the Kethrisi civil war, also indirectly. And so you're sort of playing enemy against enemy here and playing a very high-stakes game of politics while in prison.
These things happen.
Yes.
When you're
This is
Bidruhi.
how you... Yes, this is how you scoundrel. Welcome to Blades in the Dark.
Yeah, it doesn't happen to me. Like this has never happened to me. But it happens to Bidruhi. So I suppose, yes, that's how it works.
Yes, this is how you darken the blades.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yes.
we will return then to pick up the action as what happens is that Jaiklev's feet land on the strange and charred mosaic underfoot on the remnants of a temple street, where now the Well of Udu lies, where a great fallen star burns below your feet, into which you have just pushed the table he was standing on before. But now he is on solid ground, and possibly even more dangerous as a result. And it is Clem who caught his attention last by pushing down the table. I think he has hit Mushfiq in the arm, but fortunately it was Mushfiq's prosthetic arm, so it held, although it took some damage. And he has now turned his attention to Clem, who has performed the sacrifice. And I think he simply says quite calmly as he advances with his flashing blade, almost calmly and almost kindly, "You do not understand anything of what you just did, I hope."
And I think Clem is retreating away down the stairs, shield up. I understand enough.
"I very much doubt that," he says.
I think eyes on Mushfiq,
Uh-huh.
making sure he's safe.
But before we does anything else, okay, so we have technically accomplished what we came here to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have made the
so-
sacrifice, and Saida is in some sort of religious trance at the moment. Saida traumatized out, so
So I was thinking, is there any point in engaging with this man any further? Like he can monologue all he wants. I think it's we can just get out of here.
oh, that's definitely a possibility. The downside is that Saida is actually Tree. Describe in what state Saida is, because Saida is traumatized out, but what has happened to her as this like mystic trance has overcome her?
Well, I think what is occurring is that Saida has forgotten some core memories and presumably is in the process of replacing them with different core memories that are completely made up of the Prince of Endings.
Yeah.
Because what else is there to replace them with, right? So I think we are seeing them kind of go through a fugue state in which memories of being, for example, taken to see the trees by their parents are instead like now because they know the trees exist, right? But the parents and her mothers are no longer there. Instead, it is some kind of shadowy being, maybe, or like just a feeling of dread, right? That kind of thing.
So what do Clem and Mushvik actually see as they look at you?
I think just I am staring straight into the well flame, murmuring to myself, which is definitely healthy and normal.
Yeah. And so at the moment, just to clarify, contextualize what is happening here, at the moment, Jaiklev is bearing down on Clem, but he has the bearing of this as if he is punishing someone for their bad behavior or dealing with an obstacle. Like Saida is why he's here. And so you guys can absolutely run away, but you will have to take Saida with you. I'm just flagging that, or bad things will happen to Saida.
Believe in the prince, and don't even worry about it. The prince will save me. He will safeguard me from my enemies. And J. Clev is nothing but a speck of dust on the windshield of history.
Yeah, so don't listen to Saida.
Yes. Anyway, Mushvik, given this context, you have a clear window to get away here, and maybe even to take Saida with you, because his focus is, for the moment, on Clem. So, what do you do?
But abandon Clem?
Ooh, let's make this even more dramatic. Because of course Clem runs away a lot, and they look over to Mushvik and nod, just an incline of the head. And we've got Bound in Darkness as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Remind me what that does?
We can communicate in our minds.
Ooh.
We've got group chat enabled.
Yeah, we've got psychic group chat.
Well, sort of. To actually use psychic group chat, you have to spend a stress.
Yeah. Either way, I think it is clear here what this means. You have Bound in Darkness, so your non-verbal communication is practically telepathic, even without spending stress. So you understand the meaning well enough.
Also, when you do send the psychic message, everyone hears it. So, just to clarify that's how that moves works, because we are back after a long time. But I'm sure you understand what a nod means.
Well, I mean, the nod could be, let's take him on. It could be, let's run away.
If you're in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it means, yeah, shoot me in the leg.
Well, in this case, it clearly means run away. Let's not beat around the bush with misunderstandings here. I find that very unlikely when you have Bound in Darkness. Like, you understand each other here.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, yeah, I think if you don't make a decision soon enough, Saida will make one for you, and it's not going to be a good one. So
no, shush.
You're traumatized out. Shut up.
I know, which is why you better act fast before I return from my trauma.
Keep looking into your fire.
All right, I'm just gonna. Mushvik is gonna grab Saida and run. So, which is
okay. I think it's a prowl action then, as you try to grab Saida and run out. Are you just trying to run through the entrance, down the temple steps, like out of the well?
What it should look like, at least what I'm picturing it as, Jaiklev is saying, I assume you don't know what you did right now. The camera can cut back to Mushvik, who's already running away with Saida.
Yeah.
I hasn't heard any of this.
I want to point out that if we run past the entrance where there's a creepy lady who may or may not have existed since the beginning of this temple, that she still has the form. And I don't know if you're going to have time for us to stop and go through the process of retrieving the form from her.
Yeah, but, you might lose this item here.
No, don't worry. I'm get it back for you.
Sure, yeah.
I'm very confident.
It is still an action, Mushvik. I think with the focus being so fully on Clem is the one in the desperate position. So I think yours is just risky. But it is, however, limited for the reason of which Mushvik is not like supernaturally strong or anything. So if you're planning on just picking up Saida and running, I don't think with the success you'll be able to move unimpeded.
What happened to Prelate and Murad?
Were they still here? I think we said they were to observe the sacrifice of the table. I think that they are sort of tending to Saida, but they don't know what to do in these situations. They will follow Mushfik's lead. They can help you here for a group action if you want.
Yeah. Sure.
But I think you still start out at risky limited unless you push or something. And the limited effect will be like you will get Saida out of J-Clev's immediate like perimeter, but you won't get Saida out of the situation, right? You won't be able to carry her far away that she's out of sight before J-Clev notices anything.
I see. Could I argue that while Mushfik may not be supernaturally strong, Saida is supernaturally light?
Yeah. Probably true. Yeah.
This is true. All right. I suppose we can argue for it. Yeah, okay. So maybe it is risky standard with the group behind you, actually.
I'm going to assist the group.
How so?
Well, they've known Bidre for a while. Bidre has its ups and downs. There have been a few nights where he's had to be carried back from what we'll call the tea house. And they have a routine for this, which is Pilot and Murad, they tie their shawls together and then they create an impromptu hammock, a stretcher.
Oh my god. He gets a hammock ride back home?
Yeah, and so are you.
But you know what? Yeah, actually that's acceptable to me.
Okay. Stretcher, hammock. Sure, you can assist the cohort. Someone please roll for the cohort. And it's a prowl action with Mushfik, risky standard.
I'll roll for the court.
Do our cohorts have skulks?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Okay, so Mushfik rolls a 5 at his most, so it's not an unmitigated success.
Okay. So they are not elite as skulks. They are impaired. So they should normally be getting. So they should be rolling our tier, which is 2, right?
Yeah, but now they roll 1 because they're impaired.
But then I assist them, so they store. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So they're back to 2 guys.
Ooh, okay. That's a 4.
So the highest result is a 5. No one fails, but this is a success with consequences. And I think the logical thing here then is if the success is Mushfik gets far enough away with Saida without J-Clev noticing, I think unfortunately the consequence must fall on Clem. Is that permissible? Is that all right?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wow, the most deadpan go ahead I've ever had in my life.
Yes.
Protect Mushfik.
J-Clev is still distracted with you and considers you. I think that the look of disdain he gives you is that you are, a complete outsider who's meddling in things you don't understand. This is between him and Saida. He has no idea who you are, and so doesn't care about you. And so the consequence here is he splits your shield. You can resist that if you want, but that's what he does. And he does this to set himself up for the killing blow, to be clear.
Cool. I think I will resist that, yes. I think straight up, I don't think the shield is there for him to split. It's moved out of the way as Clem attempts to corner him towards the well, moving him away from the exit.
All right.
Normally the shield is there to protect you. So if the shield's not there, are you there?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, he's aiming at the shield, so moving at the shield might just mean he hits nothing. But he is a very good swordsman, so go ahead. You can resist this. But then I think is the thing, since he is such a good swordsman, he will act before you anyway. So this is just a consequence of stalling him.
Wonderful. Prowess to resist?
Yep.
Fantastic. Let's go. No stress.
Yeah. So you move the shield out of the way, and this then becomes a level 1 harm. And so here's how this is going to work. He will immediately take another action. So you resist this first action, and your consequence is just being set up for, or like your limited consequence is just that you're set up for what he does next, which is that he kicks you. His sword having missed, he just seamlessly flows into a kick. And so you take a level 1 harm. That's the risky consequence being downgraded of just bruised or whatever. But then he immediately, and his act is to push kick you backwards and away. I don't think he quite kicks you into the well because he can't. He has his back to it. You're in the way.
But he kicks you down somewhere amongst the ruins. So unless you resist that as well, you will be flung away from him.
Oh, can I resist this by grabbing him and taking him with me?
Yeah,
if he wants,
absolutely.
if he wants me down there, he's going to get me down there with him.
Sure.
100%. Grappling
All right.
this guy.
Make another prowess resist, and then that I think
Yeah.
chains smoothly into your next action.
No stress.
Okay. The sixes keep coming. No stress. You have an opportunity to grapple him here. So what happens then is that you fall backwards.
Mm.
You grab him, and the two of you come spinning down together. But unless you take an action here, he's still going to come up on top. So
Yeah.
but you have an opportunity.
I think here is where, I think Clem's just going to pin him, or at least grapple him enough and start dragging him into the well.
Okay.
Straight
This
up.
sounds like a very desperate action.
Mhm.
Sure. So we're starting out on desperate, and we are starting out on limited because he is still armed.
Yes.
And I think basically the reason why this is limited is the only way that you can grapple with him and like totally control him is if you like accept that he stabs you to death in the process, which I assume you don't. So it's limited because you have to take account of that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to tick off a Rage Essence vial for myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that
So
takes you up to
this-
standard.
Greatly enhances the user's strength resistance to pain and irrational aggression. So it's great that everybody else has got out of the way. I also have one slot remaining on a bandolier I stole from a fire speaker. Will I have had standstill in there at all? The poison that makes somebody paralyzed.
Sure. You can mark one use of that. Certainly.
Wonderful.
Okay, so marking Rage Essence and Standstill Poison, a lot of bad things are happening, and I almost feel like you have, you know what, you have a Devil's Bargain here, which you can take or refuse, but I think it makes a lot of sense, which is that you are probably going to poison yourself as part of this. So succeed or fail, after this action, you will be poisoned.
Mm.
Because I don't see any way for you to safely administer Standstill in this situation, right? It's going to get all over you
Oh,
too.
straight up, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If it gets me, it gets him. If it gets him, it gets me. No,
Yeah,
I
so
think that's fair. Yeah, I'll take that.
So you have a bonus die, a +1 from using the Standstill, and I suppose this takes you up to Desperate Great.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to push myself for extreme effect.
Okay, I think with Extreme Effect, not only will you be able to throw him into the well, but he won't be able to do anything about it.
Cool.
I think otherwise, with Great Effect, he's still elite enough that just being thrown over an edge wouldn't necessarily stop him. But I think if you're going for Extreme Effect here, with all of this piled into your favor, maybe this will actually work.
Maybe it will. Yeah. Okay. Feels like a skirmish to me. Brawling and wrestling. Fantastic. Desperate Extreme. Cool. Let's go. Shit. That's triple 2. Fuck. I used up those 6s. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So what happens is that you try to wrestle with him, and it is one of those, like, you lay your hand upon his arm, you realize that, like, his sword is out of the way, it's gone past you, you've butted that out of the way, and then you, like, pick him up, everything seems to be going great, until you realize that he has simply, in one smooth motion, too fast for you to even see it, drawn a knife with his other hand and just stabbed you in the heart.
Shit.
Like, you were so worried about his sword arm, you didn't even see what he was doing with his other hand.
Luckily though, I have armor on.
Yeah,
got
you have
armor on,
armor, so
baby.
you can mark that. Yeah, which I think makes it a level 3, and it doesn't make it a level 3 harm because it stops the blow. I think it makes it level 3 harm because, you know, he's smart enough to see this, so he just stabs you somewhere else, and it's still a level 3 harm.
Okay, so can Bushwick like act to resist this further?
You can protect, yes.
Yes, okay, and I will, because I think having got sight out of the way, turns back around, sees all of this going on, and Bushwick goes, oh shit, then they runs back towards the action. And, okay, the prosthetic arm, I think we said was broken, right?
Yeah.
So we can't use that for anything. So I think what we're ready to do is just maybe leap onto Jaiklev's back and just get in the way of him trying to act.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a protect action, which means that you will take on the consequence and downgrade it to a level 2 harm.
Cool. Wait, so am I rolling anything for this, or does that just happen?
Yes, you are rolling a resistance still. You might take stress as a result of it. So it's probably a prowess resist to jump on his back. Are you armed in this moment, or are you jumping at him unarmed?
No, I think Mushvik's got all the other stuff. Just the prosthetic arm's been. I forget exactly what happened. I think we said
Disabled.
Disabled. Yeah. All right, and because Mushvik has bodyguard, I get a bonus dice as well too. Protecting a teammate.
Oh, wow.
2 6s.
It's 2 6s,
Great.
so you lose a stress. Yeah.
Incredible.
You still take a level 2 harm because you took on this level 3 harm and then reduced it. So I think what happens here, Mushvik, is that you like pull him off of Clem. He scrambles to get his weapon again, and he rolls gracefully with your tackle to him. And I don't think he has any leverage to stab you here. So I think what happens is he does like a judo throw thing, right? He rolls around and then he hurls you into a building full force. So you take a level 2 harm from that.
He's got so many skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't even pulled out his sitar yet. Wait till you see what happens.
I really hope they nerf him in the next patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think the fact that he heals when he hits you, that's the thing I have a problem with. Everything else is fun, man. No, that's Millennia, sorry.
He just got 100% lifesteal.
Yeah.
Yes. He has no such thing. He just hasn't been harmed yet, I will remind you.
No, either way, it's broken.
Yeah.
So for everyone's benefit, I think this is it's a 12 clock to defeat Jaiklav. There are 0 ticks on it.
Yes.
Correct.
Running away might be the move at this point. But yeah, Mushvik gets thrown into a building, and I think both of you have the initiative in this situation. So Jaiklav rolls to his feet. Mushvik, you bounce and take a level 2 harm, some quite serious bruising. And he stands up, and I think now he notices that Saida is missing, and that is why you have the initiative.
Just brief question. Do you think that Munna has access to a cell phone or something like a cell phone? And B, do you think Munna could make a phone call that could somehow like send a message that would induce this man to stop murdering the shit out of us?
I think this is well within the realm of possibility to things that Munna could do. He has not been asked to do it.
No, he hasn't. So then maybe that's something Vidrahi could maybe just be like, oh my god, like, can you help? Just something to consider. I'm not like, no pressure.
Yes. I have an idea for Vidrahi, but I think it makes sense to stay on this moment for like one more moment, just to see what Clem and Mushvik do, as he notices Saida is missing. I want to do one more beat of that scene.
How far are we away from the flames themselves?
I think not very, right? You were trying to wrestle him in that direction, so... And like I said, you got him a bit of the distance before you realized that, like, oh shit, I am about to be stabbed, and then Mushvik tackled him and so on, so...
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't seem like running away is doing much good either. I wish I had any points at all in Sway.
I will say, this clock is just like if you want to defeat him in honest combat, so of course you don't need to finish the clock if your idea is to hurl him into the well. That can be accomplished through other means, but...
I don't think I'm just going to hurl him into the well. So the well's a fallen star, right?
Yes.
Which may or may not be dead, right? May or may not be sentient, right?
Yes.
People fall in there all the time.
And Clem has a belief system that revolves around stars, right?
Yeah, you do. You're also pissed off as hell and mad with rage. You have also poisoned yourself, which is going to become a problem in a second.
Yeah. I've poisoned myself, which is going to be fine. There's no problem. I want to scream out and try and connect to the wellfire. It might be a foreign star, but we're connected. We're outside of life and death together. Take this man.
Okay. Well, name of the show, everyone, is Desperate Attune, and that is what's going on here. You are attuning, and it is very desperate.
The moment that I assist?
Yes, absolutely. How are you assisting? You're being carried down the stairs on a stretcher.
This is true, but I have a harm that says well heat sink. So presumably one of the things that I can do, even though I'm, in this fugue state, try and shield Clementine somehow from cooling upon the wellfire, because the wellfire would first naturally be attracted to me on account of I tried to kick a... Not try to. I successfully did it just using, other people's feet. Kick the table into the wildfire.
Mm.
So I'll take 1 stress.
Should we just make it a group action then?
Oh,
Oh.
sure. Yeah.
Because I was
Okay.
thinking that this well has just sucked in the souls of that were trapped in the desk, and Mushvik has
And your
some
hand, right?
Oh yeah, yes.
I actually forgot what happened. I did ask last time what was happening to the souls in the prosthetic arm, and I
Yeah.
think they're still there.
Maybe. It's unclear. Your prosthetic
Okay.
arm has been damaged, but the wax hasn't melted, so who knows?
I mean, surely it would have melted. They're next to the Udu. The Udu is hot enough to
Yeah.
scorch you.
So I think what's happening is that the souls in your arm are being slowly dragged into the well one by one as this is happening.
Mm.
Of course.
Okay, so we can make this a group action because I think we can also attune to the well by having the chain of the souls leaving his arm communicate with the souls that are in the well. Just
Okay.
pass the message along.
Fantastic.
All right. You are trying to speak with the fallen star in the well. Yes, I think this is fair that this can be a group action, and this is desperate. Obviously, it is Attune,
Mhm.
and Okay, Saida, you will be the one to determine the effect of this. Do you
Sure.
speak one of the names of the Prince of Endings here?
Yes, I do.
Then this has extreme effect.
Oh.
Great. And I think maybe, even though I feel it is not yet time, because I'm always like, there's a more climactic time. What more climactic time could there be than this? I will speak the name that we have just discovered.
Yes, I figured.
So I think that what probably happens is that, first of all, I have this awful heat sink property about myself, which means that I am constantly now like burning hot underneath my skin, which is not where the heat is supposed to be. But also be that I am very like, I'm reaching out for help, and I may in other times and other deliria have called out to my mothers, but as we have just proved, instead I'm going to call out to the Prince of Endings. So what is the name that I speak in this moment? Because I don't think that it is exactly ending that we are yearning for here.
I think this second name should be from Salty, because Salty is the only one here who doesn't. Well, also Prince, but I think it should be a player. But I think Salty is the only player who is not from Sanskrit-based language.
And as we know, Prince has read quite a lot of Bengali.
So you mean it is not a title and not... You
Well,
mean it is
his-
not a name in a Sanskrit-based language? That is what you're
Yeah.
defining me. Because I was thinking it might be a title like the Prince of Endings, but maybe it is not.
Yeah, well, we already have one name, which is Khatam.
Yes.
I think
Mm.
there's multiple names. I think if we get to the point where everyone adds one name, that'd be cool. I don't think we will, but I think it'd be best to then have the second name be something from a completely different language. I don't know. Salty can name it, can say whatever.
Salty, just
Okay.
Google pretty big dick in Dutch and just say that. It's not a problem.
Mhm.
Salty, I will give you first choice, but I have an idea.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I think that it is Sirius.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Yes, I like this. For a wolf may prey on the sheep, but a dog guards its flock. And the only difference between a wolf and a dog is how much it has been tamed. And there are those like big sheepdogs out in like the highlands that like guard these massive sheep that like they're basically still just wolves. They have not stopped being wolves, right? So that's great.
Yeah. Also, the literal meaning of Sirius in Latin is scorching. So
Nice.
I think
Okay.
this is why it's a good time to speak this name.
Yes. And so yeah, I will speak that flame that burns hotter than the wildfire, which is presumably the only thing that can command the wildfire, right? For it is more potent and more terrible. And I will take 1 stress to speak it to all of my followers, or rather, all of the followers of the Prince of Endings. So everyone hears it. So even if they don't speak it, they know it, and that is what is helping them, right?
Yeah.
So we are no longer bound in darkness, guys. We're bound in flames.
Yes. Good.
I'm going to change the name of this ability now. Great, fantastic.
Everyone make your rolls, and let's see how this goes as you attempt this desperate extreme calling upon the wildfire. Yeah.
Any devil's bargains going?
Yes. I'm going to offer the one that I was going to offer you before. We are doing all of this in the shadow of the Tower of Stars, right? It's always there. The destruction of Jacklev and his sacrifice to the will is in accordance to the Tower of Stars agenda.
Okay, I will take it. Someone can take a +1 from this.
It won't be me, but it can be someone else. I'm getting a die from speaking the name, so I don't want to hog another die.
I think it's the most appropriate for Clem.
Yeah.
Get beamed up by the tower.
Yeah, the Tower of Stars has something to say here.
Indeed.
It's a strange
Absolutely.
distraction.
Yeah. I also have a Devil's Bargain for Mushfik, which I don't think you're going to take, but the fire has taken much already. It has taken these memories from Saida. You feel these like souls drain out of your arm, and you may take a Devil's Bargain of the fire also claiming the memories of the honored dead who fought beside you.
Hell no.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't take it, but
that's sharp, man. I mean, if you did take it, you would be in real competition with Saida for, High Priest of the Prince of Endings. So,
But I have one. Okay. Would you say, Prince, that maybe Jacklev isn't expecting us to, turn the wildfire on him, and it could be thought of as being a trap?
He absolutely is not thinking of this. Yes.
Very good. And then I have ambush, and I get
because he thinks we have decency.
Yes. So you're just ambushing him.
Jokes on him.
All right. So that's how I get +1 die.
Yeah.
Okay. Question: if I push myself for beyond extreme effect, will it be funny if I do this?
You already have extreme effect by invoking the name.
I know, which is why I'm asking if I also push myself. And
you
I
may.
gain. Okay. And question 2: will it apply only to my roll?
No.
Okay.
So I think everyone will have desperate extreme if you.
I am pushing myself here because it is the first time I'm speaking this name, and it is burning my mouth as I speak. Desperate?
Yes. Yeah.
Extreme. It's extreme +1, but you can't go +1 on this. 1 die bonus. I have rolled a 6.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have rolled a 6. Okay, then it remains only to be seen if someone causes stress. So.
No, it also remains if there's another 6, we crit because we're synchronized.
Yeah. True.
Okay, so Mushfik rolled a 1.
No, I did not. I forgot to add my bonus die.
Okay, let's see.
Good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll 2 more because I pushed myself as well. It's a 5.
Okay, a 5. So let's see if Clem rolls another 6.
Yeah, and I'll take that Devil's Bargain.
Fantastic. Okay, so the Tower of Stars is getting involved. The weird ass tower that remind me, this tower hangs above the well, right? It just floats.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have largely ignored it until now.
Yeah.
I like how it's only showed up in an extra in season 1, and we'll see.
Yeah, correct.
We'll see if more happens.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a crit, baby.
That's a 6.
That's a 6, 2, and a 5.
That is a crit. Okay.
So I want to. It's 2 levels beyond extreme now, right? Presumably?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
So,
can we just discover a third name? I just think that we should just have a third name.
I am going to give you that, and we will cut
Great.
back to Bidruhi in a second, but obviously we will have to... Actually, I think now is a good time to cut back to Bidruhi, because
Lovely.
you are in some cells, but I think since you're in the nice ones, possibly these ones have windows.
Okay.
So, I think you're in a cell, you have like a little like arrow slit window out over an open cliff ledge.
Mhm.
And do you think that you are still with Munna? Do you think you're in his cell, or do you think you're back in your own at this point?
I
As
think
this
at
is
this
happening.
point, I'm back in my own cell. You know, we had a nice dinner, but Munna strikes me as the kind of man who needs his beauty sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're back in your own cell.
Mhm.
You perhaps you're getting ready to go to bed when two things happen.
Yeah, I'm cutting
The
some
first-
cucumbers to put on my eyes.
Uh-huh. Yeah. The first thing is that your cell door opens, and this little guard, who is not... What was your best friend again? Samson?
Samson Bhai.
Yeah. Your best friend is not the one opening the cell door. It is again this little man who took you to see Samson beating the shit out of one of the entertainers.
Mm-hmm. I immediately pay attention as he shows up.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he is about to say something when suddenly there is a glow outside your window. And this is very unusual, because this is not a time at which it should be happening. Like the mirror that reflects the sun has gone down, and yet suddenly it seems like there's like the inverse of an eclipse. Suddenly the sky is bright, even though it shouldn't be. And that catches him as much by surprise as it does you, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have the initiative. So
Okay.
he has opened the cell door, he is looking out, he is like very perplexed by this. But none of you have realized precisely what is going on yet. I think you have realized in as much as that something is up with this guy, right? Something is up with this dude. He wasn't just mistakenly leading
for
you
sure.
to the cell with Samson.
For sure. Yeah, so I have my butter knife. I don't think they'd give me a knife. I suppose I could really ask for one, but like it'd be a whole thing. I don't need...
You're in the fancy enough cells that you can ask for anything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I could ask Samson for a knife, but I think he'd just give me a butter knife if I don't ask for a knife. I haven't asked for a knife. Why would I ask for a knife? So I have my butter knife, and my attention was on him, and then the light thing happened. And I think, you know what? I'd be surprised if he doesn't do the same thing. I think I'd get up and look out the window.
Yep.
I think every single person in Uduasha who has noticed this is looking out their window.
Yeah. And so you will notice, as many other people, the consequences of what the fuck your crew just did. But I think you will realize it. The Tower of Stars is on fire.
Oh.
It has lit up like a candle.
That's why there's a bureaucracy, okay? Because otherwise mad scientists do things like this, and that's bad.
Yeah. It has lit up like a candle. It is burning, and it appears to be changing.
I turn to the guy next to me. I assume he's also looking at the window.
Yes.
And I say,
And very perplexed.
"Hey man, how old are you?"
I'm 32.
Okay, you got like 12 years over me, and well, I've seen like you remember the giraffe thing?
What is that?
The giraffe thing is an incident where a giraffe suddenly emerged from the top window of the Tower of Stars and fell into the well.
Did we know what a giraffe was before this occurred?
Yeah. There's zoos. We know what a giraffe is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He nods slowly.
So there was the giraffe thing. I heard about the spider web thing. Heard about the balloon thing. Have you ever seen the fire thing? That's a new thing for me. I've never seen it do that before.
Not the fire thing, and not the... Someone is... I don't know who is behind this, but is it sprouting something? And he squints out at the tower as the fire appears to be changing it.
Okay, so what does that look like to me? Can I don't know if I need to study it or whatever, but like...
Yeah,
can I make it out?
something like tentacles are shooting out from it at the top and the bottom, bursting out of its burning exterior. as the tower is transforming. No one in Uduasha understands the tower, right? It is a thing
No.
with a will of its own. It hangs over the well. No one really knows how long, like where it came from. It is an utterly alien thing that people have just been living around for centuries, and sometimes it does weird shit. But this is the first time it appears to be sprouting appendages. You can study it if you wish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I want to try to... Okay, so here's the thing. Bidruhi has no reason to imagine that he will understand what's going on with the tower. What I want to do is to figure out somehow or the other if my crew is behind this. I don't know if that's an action roll or a study roll or an attune roll or something else, but I want to figure out.
You can just take one stress to ask us, but I understand if you don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm. You can take one stress to ask. You can also attune or study here.
Yeah, I know Bidruhi can do that. I don't understand how. I don't imagine Bidruhi knows he can do that.
No.
You know what?
Trying to figure this out.
I'll tell you what. Here's how maybe it can work with Bidruhi. He's going to take a stress, by which I mean he's stressed out as hell, as I think almost everyone is watching this, and he's just going to be like, Ustad, did you do this? Fuck, Ustad, tell me you didn't do this. And he's not expecting an answer.
Well,
he's about
good.
to get one.
You're hooking up to the group chat, so you're going to have the same vision everyone else gets. And so there are two things happening. The first is that the tower finishes its transformation. It has been in some sort of cocoon state this whole time, but now something is ending and something else is beginning. And you realize that the thing is indeed sprouting limbs, not like a creature, not tentacles you thought at first, but branches and root.
Oh, there is a fifth spire!
And the thing transforms into a tree hanging suspended upside down with its roots in the sky above the well.
It's a reverse banyan.
Yes. And there it hangs like an utterly alien thing, sprouted suddenly into life as, the Rising Moon Sword School have a vision. And it is a simple vision. It is what you already knew. They threw Prince Katan into the wilderness after it was finished. They hurled him from the sky. They betrayed him. They cast him down. And he fell. He fell and he landed on a temple. The first temple.
Yes.
And he died.
Oh.
Yes. That is absolutely what happened. I knew that all along, actually.
Uh-huh.
And you can't deny it. I definitely knew that all along.
Uh-huh. And now he is no longer dead.
This is a problem.
The Prince of Endings is awake.
All right, cool.
Yes!
Great campaign, guys. See you. See you after. See you in the fall.
Right. We're done here. Shaking hands.
I don't want to be here for what happens afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, you wanted this.
Yeah.
Saida, you wanted a god. Congratulations. You have made one.
I have no regrets. I will say that the ability I took a long time ago that says, speak of the devil, says, speak 1 and he will stir, speak 3 and he will speak 5 and he will wake, right?
Yes, yes.
So it seems like we have now we've heard him speak. That appears to be what is happening, and if he's a well person, then, also Bidruhi rolled 2 6s on his resolve resist that he did to himself, so clearly Bidruhi's not stressed about this.
And you have this vision, and I think it completely overtakes you. I think this is blindingly strange to see the world of the stars and to see what it is like to be flung into the wilderness. And
As
so
Bidruhi,
I think you come to your senses with the guard over you, actually he may have come in to administer violence, he may have come in as some sort of danger, right? But the basic humanity in him now makes him worry that some sort of sickness has struck Luya. Like, you looked on this thing and you appeared to have, some sort of attack. And so he's over you, and the next thing you know, he is forcing water into your mouth. And you drink because you suddenly feel as thirsty as if you've been in the desert.
Hmm.
Mm.
I think Bidruhi drinks the water, and the water in his and like he speaks through the water in his throat in a different voice.
Mm-hmm.
Say, Valiant, say, ripping apart the wide sky of the universe, leaving behind the moon, the sun, the planets, and the stars, piercing the earth and the heavens, pushing through Almighty's sacred seat, have I risen, the perennial wonder of Mother Earth. The angry god shines on my forehead like some royal victory's gorgeous emblem.
Nice.
Amazing.
Muy bien.
Yeah.
Muy bien.
I think the guard flinches backwards, recognizing these signs of divinity speaking through you. And he sets the water down by your side. He backs away, and I think he remains in the cell as the sole witness to this. And unusually, he does not call for backup or help.
Mm.
In
Why
fact,
would he?
I think
That's
he
nothing
seems,
to worry about.
yeah, I think in fact he seems to be torn between two instincts right now, and one of them is to help you, and the other one is to put you out of your misery and like kill you before you transform into something monstrous. And he hasn't decided which one is happening yet. If this is benevolent or malevolent.
But it won't happen because yes, we have an ability that says that we can only be possessed by the prince.
Yes.
That's not happening because Bidruhi has rejected being possessed by the prince before. But he is obviously, the door is always open, I suppose. So that sometimes things like this can peek through. This was a moment for it to peek through. But I think he sits up, energized, refreshed. He gulps down the water and he rushes towards the guy and he grabs him by his wrist. And I think like for a minute, like he looks, maybe the guy's like afraid because he just rushes forward. He's got reflexes, right? So he's like super fast, right? And suddenly these quite strong hands are holding his wrists, and he just says, "Did you see it? Man, did you see it?"
I saw the tower set aflame. I don't know what you saw after that. You saw beyond sight, stranger.
Aren't you the people who see? Isn't that your name? And like he gives a grin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he says, yes, but in this instance, I think you're the one who saw. Many eyes together see all.
Man. Fuck. You know? She told us. She told us, and at first I didn't believe her. And then I sort of believed her. But I was afraid. And now, man, my forehead's breaking in sweat. My armpits are lakes. I am hot. I'm burning. It's excitement. It's true. Truer than she knew. Do you have any idea what the hell I'm talking about?
I have guesses. But I know who will be speaking of this, and it's the people who usually speak of fire. If you can set them right, you ought to set them right, I think.
And he kind of shakes his head. Sorry, man. It's still kind of like reeling from. What do you mean? He says. He's not ready for riddles.
Yeah. I mean that a lot of crazy fucks are going to capitalize on this. And I don't think you should be in here when that happens if you know what's actually going on.
I mean, I'm sort of here by consent, I guess, but I can't leave by consent, you know. But like, why are you here? What can I do for your people? You took me to Samson, and I stopped that as well as I could. I know what you are.
That was to see whether you would, and you did. Not in the way I expected, but you did. And then you spoke to your next door neighbor, and I wasn't sure. What did you talk about?
You want to know if I'm one of those people that also need to be put down like dogs? Yeah.
Yes.
May I invite you to sit down? I need to sit down. You can do what you want. And he sits down.
I think the circumstances are extraordinary, he says, and he just kicks the cell door shut and sits down.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bidrahi takes a huge bite out of his cucumber and throws a cucumber to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
We should also remember that cucumbers are a luxury product. And in season 1, Freya didn't know what one was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the perks of being as well connected with the prison system as you are.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm having a cucumber. He's having a cucumber, I guess. Or, well, he's holding a cucumber. Whether he has a cucumber is another business.
He's going to eat from it as well. It is refreshing after a sight such as this.
Yeah. And I think with the tree on fire behind us, like kind of sort of, it's really far away, but we see that kind of like that bright spark behind the window.
Yeah.
Beyond the window. Bidri says, I don't know if you need to put me down or not, man. The real thing is, it's like this, right? I inherited a responsibility. And, well, I'm doing it because no one else was doing it. And these things are a way of getting ahead of yourself, right? So the way to do it is to keep on swimming. Like, what the hell were they called? I heard of them. In like, like where, not in the void sea, but like in the salt water. Like sometimes, you can get some salt water. It's not fresh water, but like salt water, and there's these things in there. They like eat things, they eat people, they always have to swim. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, eels, right? He says, completely missing the point, but this is what the Akaro see.
Yeah.
Eat. He's not like he's the best at this. He lives in a desert.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's right. But anyway. So let's say, okay, like one of those things, eels or whatever the hell they are. Crocodiles, maybe. I gotta keep moving, right? But here's the thing. Those things, they eat things, right? They're dangerous. So I can't promise anyone that in this movement that I don't become like an eel eating everything in my way. I don't want to be. I don't know how the hell my next door neighbor got his start. I don't think my path will ever end that way. I don't think I'm ever going to be smart enough to be like him, even if I wanted to be. Right now I don't want to be, but I don't know about the future. This is just me laying the situation out for you, okay? I think I'm a good guy, but like, who the hell thinks they're a bad guy, Sorry, you wanted to know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He listens.
He rambles for a bit. Basically, guys like Munna, they're always gonna be there. I can't fucking stop Munna. I mean, maybe I can put a knife in him. I'm sure there's going to be another Munna coming afterwards. Best I can do is to manage my relationship with the Munnas of the world. Just like how it is with the princes of this world. You can't beat them. You can't stop them. You have to manage your relationship with them. That's how I understood things until... How long have we been talking?
I don't know, but until that, right?
Yes. Now, something else is possible. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know.
Well, we'll need eyes on it, and yours seem to see. So I think we should be in touch. And I think that you are going to find yourself out of here sooner than you think. Samson, your solution was adequate. What happens to him when you leave and you no longer hold his leash? Do you care?
Bidri chews his cucumbers up a little bit more. First question that I'd like to know the answer to is, who's after Samson? Worse guy, better guy?
we have someone in mind. Someone afraid.
Oh, hell yeah. Then take care of that sociopathic fuck.
Good. He's going to be your ticket out of here, I'm happy to say.
Hmm.
I just need a little time to set things up.
That's deeply appreciated. What is... I mean... What's the price? The one that I'd pay.
I just told you, we need eyes on this, and you seem to know what's going on.
Okay.
The price, as always, is information.
Okay. That's good.
And also, we wouldn't mind eyes on Munna, he says with a little smile.
Insofar as I can do that, I'll do it. There's a few specific things that he wanted me to do for him, and then I just quickly rush through the thing about what was it, Saturman, the Hive mercenary.
Yeah.
He wanted me to take him out, and I implied that we want to do that because, well, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
We also said that we also exchanged information about Vendakesh Annexus and the Majesty Bank.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think good. I think there's some sort of action role here as you tell him this, which is basically he's going to really appreciate this information about Munna's plans, because any information from Munna, even if it's information he volunteers, is valuable, right? Because that guy has plans within plans within plans. But the question is how good of an impression you make here. So I think I want this to be an action role.
Okay. With
and
consort?
We can describe it as, I think consort makes sense. I think we can describe it as controlled standard, with standard effect being you gain the vigilance trust, and with the possible controlled consequence maybe being that you will owe them something.
Okay.
Or they will have expectations on you.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if any of my abilities come into play. Closest thing is Strange Bedfellows.
Yes, I think that applies.
Oh yeah, I'll read it.
I think they're definitely enemies of your enemies. Yeah.
The enemy of your enemy is your friend, or at least thinks you are one, which might be enough to fool them. Take +1 dice on rolls to make nice with enemies of factions your crew has -2 or -3 status with. We aren't that with Munna, but I think we can assume we can sort of play it.
I think it's applicable not just to him, but to various organizations that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's a 5.
Okay. So what is going to happen here is that this guy is going to, basically, you're going to get +1 faction status with the Vigilant. They are going to be favorably inclined towards Bidruhi and by extension, the Rising Moon Sword School. But they will ask you for a favor at some point, and it will be contingent on that. So unless you resist this to make an even better impression, what is going to happen is you have a +1 for now, and that will drop to 0 if you don't help them when they need help.
Well, currently we are at +2 with them.
Now, okay. How did you get up to +2 with them?
Because that's the bonus I chose for getting.
Yes. All right, you already sort of established this. Well then, I think we'll just organically frame it this way, that you have a +2 with them. I don't think it makes sense to bump it all the way up to a +3. But I think that you have a personal in with them. I don't think, interestingly, this guy, I think you're not going to meet this guy again, because I think that's just how they operate. This man who's infiltrating as a prison guard is not their man outside of the prison. But instead, I will frame your success like this then. You can make up a contact for yourself. That is one of the Vigilant that is going to make contact with you once you're out.
Do they use code names?
Probably, yeah. So you can I will just give you free reign to invent one of the Vigilant that will become your contact.
Okay. There's what kind
Bruce
of person?
Kent.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
I knew you would appreciate this list, so.
Okay. There's a shoe repairman. Cobbler. Yes, that's the word. Cobbler called Iron Man.
Oh my god.
There's a cobbler called Iron Man because he used to be a wrestler.
Yes. Of course. I was almost I was almost sure that you were going for his name being Superman, but no. You went with Iron Man instead.
Yes. It's called Iron Man. I have noted this contact down as cobbler called Iron Man.
Uh-huh.
Not
Yes,
Iron
very
Man
good.
cobbler. He's a cobbler called Iron Man. That's important.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I hear about this man. He's yeah, I mean he'd have to be in Wunderwest, right?
Yeah. So I think you're told that like you can make contact with this guy. We can work together.
In fact, it turns
And
out he's been my main cobbler.
Uh-huh.
All this time.
Yes.
I
Very
thought your
good.
main cobbler. I thought you'd switch to Muchi.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Muchi is a shoe manufacturer. I don't have a relationship with Muchi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So this is the guy who repairs her already nice shoes and like maybe he polishes them up too real nice and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
on. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So I think then, just to flex the information they have over you, he just says talk to your cobbler if you want to hear from us. And I will frame it like this in that case. I think with the current result, this guy is a contact who will have a job for you in the future. If you resist this, then he is a contact who is willing to do something for free for you instead.
I'm going to resist it largely to reduce threads.
Yep. Good. And then this guy, in fact, will be willing to help you for free. So you can just call on the vigilant.
Very good. Yeah, and I think there's some new ideas that are popping in my head, but we'll see.
Yes. Meanwhile, under the flaming tree, I think the three of you have this vision, and you obviously see this happen to the Tower of Stars as Clem somehow makes contact with it, and you understand this nature of the thing. And I think as you come to your senses, like the vision is brief, it is a flash. Jaiklev is burning, but he's burning in the same way as Salman was, where he seems to be like not harmed by the fire, even as it rises around him. He's just a person on fire. And he almost seems like despondent, and he's walking up towards Saida. So I think as you come from your senses from this vision, Saida, you are sitting up on the stretcher probably, and he's walking down the stairs towards you as he burns. And it's unclear if this is just tremendous willpower on his part or some other weird shit going on, because like you were definitely trying to harm him with the fire, right?
Yeah.
He's got 100% fire resist too.
Yeah. You know how it is, man. Like these bullshit patches, right? Like they just bug out when you do enough damage.
Anyway, he steps down on fire, and I think it is clear that he is still in pain.
Yeah, and I'm also like, it's bad, but I will just look at him and no. First, I will say to Pilot and Bold Murad, just set me down. He poses no threat to us now. I've been thinking that maybe one of the ways, and this is something that happens in actual plays, and I'm like, yeah, it's so fun. One of the ways that Saida has forgotten the memory of her mother's is that she no longer remembers the way they speak, and so now her accent has changed. She speaks more like a native Udawashan, by which I mean I'm gonna code switch now. Yeah, and so I think they will say set me down. I have nothing to fear from him.
So you are set down. Yeah, he stares at you, and I don't know if you have something to say to him first.
I will just say, seems like I have won after all, old friend.
You have. It wishes for me to join you.
Yes. Of course it does. You should. I bear you no grudge.
You are not the only one who is stubborn. I wish you to witness what you have done to my city, what you will do to my city. I wish for you to witness it. And then the fire starts to affect him, and he actually begins to burn before your very eyes.
Excellent. That is unfortunate, but if anything, if I can respect anything, it is the choice to immolate yourself in order to, in order to what?
And-
Make a point.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, he wants you to see the horrors you have unleashed, and so you see him die horribly by immolation.
Indeed. And as this occurs, I know what I want to do. I still got the butterfly knife on me. My sash broke because I tried to use it and, try and freak him out, but it turns out he can't. And I will pull out my butterfly knife. I will recall the rite that I used in order to send the people whom we murdered out in the Deathlands to the Prince of Endings. And I will attempt to use this rite to send him also to the Prince of Endings.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, I mean, what better way to prove to him that I'm right and he's wrong than to murder him?
What is the new name that we have unlocked? That happened, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, there was a third name. Yes, indeed. You got a new name as a
Correct.
result of your success here.
Yeah. And
Use that name.
oh man, that's a good question. What is the new name?
No, I know what it is.
Oh, go on then.
It's Bidruhi.
Okay, I actually really love that.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Bidruhi as a name for the prince is great because it screws with time, right? So Bidruhi
Yeah.
in your crew was named for the Prince of Endings. Obviously, this is
Indeed, that's what it was. You're right. I was gonna say that one of the reasons I also wanted a name that is not a man's name is it might be nice to fuck with gender a little bit in this case. But yeah, absolutely. I think I love Bidruhi as a name. So let's do that.
Bidruhi isn't a man's name, it's our name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in this universe, your name, Bidruhi, is a man, right? So yeah.
Fair enough. But no, I've never heard of anyone called this name.
I think people are sleeping on Bidruhi as a name. But okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
they are. I think it's a very good name. Anyway, yes, you speak this name of the prince and perform the rituals underneath this cracked tower of a tree that hangs above you, rather like, I guess, the tarot card, the tower, in the sky. And yeah, Clem and Mushfik, how do you react to having seen this vision of the prince cast out and become the Wellfire? And also of the tower catching fire and of Jaiklev's death?
I think Mushfik's reaction is very much my own, which is like, it all makes sense now, kind of, somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is like that. There's a moment of clarity, but like we'll have to retroactively say exactly what that is. But I think that's what it is. Like I think Mushfik has been like sticking up for Said and doing all of these things just because Said is someone he knows, and why not help a friend out with their insane rituals? But now it's like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. I'm glad I did this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah. And Clem, what is your reaction?
I think Clem is trying to make sense of of how this fits into their belief that the stars are dead. Severossi, right? They're staring down into the flame and trying to ask, do I know you? Oh, are you from our land too? Where did humanity come from?
Yeah, that is a very good question. And one which I do not think the fire answers you right now, as it stirs slowly. But I think a thing that you realize is that there is a place in the sky where this star was, and you now know which of the constellations bears a scar.
Oh.
I think this is a vision that comes to you.
I also want to add a thing that's about to happen.
Uh-huh.
The giant mirror above the Tower of Stars is about to crack and explode, raining down
Hmm.
glass on everyone.
We should definitely
Yeah.
stop that from happening, guys. Zoheb, why would you introduce this problem? I'm just curious.
It's a giant glass mirror that's now on fire. That's just what happens.
Yeah,
Things were
it
going
is
so
heating up.
well.
And this is about to happen, but there is another thing that is about to happen, which is that the great houses are about to act, which is also a reason why you should get the fuck out of here, to be clear. But they are going to try to prevent this from occurring.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, yes. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you do?
Now that I've consigned Jclev to the one who rebels, the one who defies, I also agree that we need to get out of here. But not before we. Raining glass down from the sky is definitely a bad idea.
I will tell you a thing that is happening here,
Uh-huh.
which maybe Saida can see, maybe not. And it is that Iskandar Ansarek, who was here, is approaching. And I don't know how much he knew what was going on here, but this like large, heavy-set man is stepping up, and he's going to be passing by the keeper of the temple gates in a moment. He may even do so without permission.
Yes. And so, what we must do is we gotta appeal to his pride, because it may be the only thing that helps. And so I will look at Iskandar as he approaches, and I will point to the mirror, and I will say, "Observe, O Scion. The world has thrown a gauntlet. Will you match it?" And I'm just going to try and convince him it's his problem.
Okay, sure. It sounds like a sway action.
Because Ansarek is the
Ansarek
house
is
of-
this. Yeah, the sun and moon lifting.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
They probably built the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry. All right.
Yes.
I mean, this is a total lie, right?
Mhm.
So I get increased effect. This is a particularly outrageous, bold-faced lie. Come on, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it is. Okay, so that
Yeah.
gives you increased effect. I was going to say before abilities, you have desperate standard.
Okay, I'm very
So
happy
I guess
to
now
have
you have. So now you have desperate great, I guess, because you're invoking this ability.
I love
Uh-huh.
this. I love this
Yeah.
for me. But that's all. I don't think I have anything else. Gather info. Yeah, that's it. I have nothing else. So I'm just gonna roll this. Desperate.
Mhm.
Great. No bonus dice. 6.
Okay, let
So
me ask
all
you a question.
Saida needed to do is forget why they're doing anything,
Uh-huh.
and then their gods will bless them.
Okay, since you got great effect, I will ask you a thing here. Iskandar Ansarek is basically your landlord. He is the keeper of Bundervest. He is the noble most directly at the moment having his thumb on you. Would you prefer it in this moment if he lives or dies?
I would prefer it if he lives, because
Uh-huh.
I would prefer it if he saw me as the person who pointed out to him the opportunity to become greater than he is now.
Very good. So you get great
Um,
effect, so this is why. You will get to tell me what happens here, simply. So you have enabled him an opportunity for glory, and it turns out that this opportunity for glory will not destroy him, but indeed bring him glory.
Yes, I think what is going to occur now is that we will, I guess, discover that he, until now, has been like middling off power, right? But somehow in this moment, there's enough like psychic backlash or whatever, and he's clearly stronger of will. I don't think he's not unpowerful, whatever that means.
No,
And
what happens? Yeah,
Yeah,
what happens is that he's going to channel the demon that runs through his veins. He's going to actually call up
yes,
Sirek, the strong,
Yeah.
And so he walks up towards the mirror up on this mosaic tile where you have been fighting. He faces the mirror, he raises his hand, and he speaks one of the secret names of Serek. He has no choice, he has to do
Oh,
this.
Yeah,
Which means that
absolutely.
you now also know the name of one of the demon princes.
The pus of Ixis is in love with me.
Uh-huh.
The name of Sarek is known to me. I just got to do 2 more demon princes, and
Yeah,
then we'll have the quadrifecta. Yes.
there are 5. Well, maybe there are 6.
No.
Uh-huh.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
But he raises his hand, he speaks this name, and there's a great strain. As I think the fire in the great tree, or whatever, is calming down somewhat. I think it was only on fire for this transformation, so the intensity of the burning tree is lessening, right? But he reaches up a hand, and we see this great mirror, which is the sun that provides light for all of Uduasha. He speaks this name, the mirror shudders, and it is about to crack. It looks like it's about to buckle and explode.
Yeah.
And he strains himself, and instead what happens is that a single long crack, like a slash, goes down its center, but it holds.
Yes. And in fact, now, I think from now on, whenever the light reflects, right, there's a little discoloration along that crack.
Yes.
So, in some ways, it's a better way of keeping time because you can see where that line is,
Uh-huh.
and you
Yes.
can be like, "Oh, it's 7 o'clock." You
Yes.
didn't need that, but we're going to pretend it's a useful feature.
An interesting thing that happens now is that the mirror was above the Tower of Stars, reflecting the light of the well that was deep down inside, such that everyone could get light for a certain amount of time of the day. However, now it is reflecting the light of a burning building, which essentially does the same job as the mirror anyway. But now there's a mirror on top of that. So now Uduasha is going to get superheated.
Oh shit! Did we just quote climate change?
We created a death laser.
I will point out the tree is not permanently on fire. Like this blaze of great burning was part of its transformation. So that
I
fire is reducing to a more flickering state.
Okay.
It is
Yeah.
not glowing
Okay,
like a
good.
beacon permanently, because that would destroy the city at this point. But,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Very fair.
but he was on fire just for this explosion from the cocoon,
Yeah.
and has now
Mm.
stabilized into just being a tree.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, Uduasha is about to get quite a bit warmer.
Yes, and weirder.
Yes.
So
Can't wait.
Yeah,
yeah,
good job.
But-
Yeah. This having happened.
all these things have happened, and I think this is the perfect point to wrap up our score.
Oh man. Yeah. I hope
unless
so.
you have other scenes you want to happen here and now.
I will bow to Iskander and say, I beg you your leave, and I'm going to try and get out. So, no, I don't want any more scenes. I want to exit.
And I think Iskandar would have questions, because I think he's the only person who knows that you were involved with this, right? Which is why I asked you if you wanted him to die, because
Yeah.
he would be the only witness. But I think what happens here is that he will still know about this, but he has to stay here to maintain the spell until the tree calms the fuck
Mm.
down. So
Yes.
he can't really do very much at the moment. He just has to stay here and make sure, like, that the mirror does not crack any worse than it already has. So
I have.
Yeah. No, go on.
I was going to say I have the perfect paint the scene prompt for what happens as we end the score. But you should have
Yes.
you should say what you were going to say first, Ree.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that it is sometimes, rarely, it is great to solve problems by giving people exactly what they want.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, the ability to save the entire city from catastrophe.
Mm-hmm.
that you caused, but
But he's not going to let anybody know that, is he? He's just going to be like, I happened to be walking down the road,
Uh,
and then I saw this was about to happen, and then I stopped it because that's how cool I am.
yes.
I threw the opposite. I did the opposite of a spirit bomb,
Uh-huh.
mhm.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
and it
That is
didn't even
exactly-
take me 6 episodes to charge up. That's how good I am.
Yeah.
So the paint the scene. Mhm.
Paint the scene question one: Who's making that noise? Yes, very good.
Yeah. I would really like to know, because we've seen what Sirik, how Sun Sirik immediately responds to this crisis. I'd like to see what the other demon houses are each doing. What evidence we see of them responding to this crisis at the immediate moment that we leave.
Very well.
Mm.
Tree, please tell us about Ixis, the shadowy house, the house of secrets. I think it's fun if we each do one.
Yes, absolutely. I know what the House of Ixis is doing for. The House of Ixis is currently engaged in an incredibly tricky scheme in which the demon Ixis may or may not have killed itself, so it can more effectively fake its own death. And I think that what is currently happening is that there are parts of the House of Ixis now that are mobilizing, having already foreseen this possibility, right? And that being which we have been calling until now the Pus of Ixis emerges from the shadows somewhere inside the spire, gathering its followers to itself, because I think that's the one that has managed somehow to make its plans come to fruition.
Okay, so the Pus of Ixis is now like the Grand Vizier of the House of Ixis.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because it was the only one that was convinced that the Prince of Endings did exist. Right?
Yeah,
it was
fair.
the only one, therefore, that could plan for anything remotely close to this possibility. And so, having correctly done this, who could blame the rest of us for, by us I mean the House of Ixis, for believing that it could do more things also?
Very good. Aadiyat, the House Ankayat, the House of the Wise, the Seers of Truth, to which Saida's best friend belongs, and who has taught Saida very many things.
Yep.
Please tell me what this house does, and also specifically what Saida's good friend is doing.
God, I don't think I'm very good. I'm gonna be pretty good at coming up with the kind of things that Shariar does, which is just be mysterious.
Yeah. My other prompt that I had for you was, I think that Ankuset is going to meet with their prime asset in the Falconers, which is Captain Peregrine. So if you want to see what happens between Peregrine and the law-keeping and demon-binding nobles, that was the other prompt I had in mind.
Oh yeah, all right. Why not? Let's have a look at Captain Peregrine. So, I think Captain Peregrine would know exactly who's responsible for this. He's had his eyes on us for a while.
Yeah.
So for Uncle said, this is, I think, a bit of a crisis. They would go to, they'd send out the call to their underlings and like all the people that they're in contact with. And I think Captain Peregrine, when it comes to him, like when he's looking out the window and he's seeing this happen, he would know exactly where to start his investigations. And that's with us.
Yeah. Very good. Oh, this is good because this gives us another reason why the Vigilant want to get Bidruhi out of the city before Peregrine finds him. I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. I have a great alibi.
Yeah.
Banging on the bathroom floor. How could I forget that I had? Yeah, and so on.
Yes. So what the Vigilant are going to do then, to cut back to that, Bidruhi, is that I think Peregrine is going to like try to get to see you at the earliest possible expedience, but first he has to speak with House Ankuset and like all of this, right? So he will be ferried about the city a little bit before he can come get you, but he doesn't think he's in a hurry because you're in prison. And what the Vigilant are setting up is they're going to have basically Salman be unfortunately killed in an assassination attempt on you, and then be like, oh, we have to move this prisoner elsewhere. The assassins have found him. Terribly sorry.
You mean
and then
Samson?
they're going to move you. Samson, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, your asshole butler is going to be framed for having tried to murder you. Then he's going to tragically die, and you will be moved out of this prison for your own safety and disappear.
I've had Samson High for one session, and if anything happens to him, I will enjoy it.
Yes. So I don't want to like linger too long on the scene of that happening. Like we can do a scene where it fits, but that is what is going to happen with you, and that is why Peregrine doesn't find you in time. You can still speak to him on your own terms, but he can't just interrogate you in your prison cell as he had hoped, thanks to your friendship with the Vigilant.
Sure. So what did the other houses do about this?
Yes, I was about to say, And I guess, Klow, you can go next. I want you to see the perspective of House Anrakis and the people in the Colosseum, and in particular your favorite Anrakis friend, Anish Anrakis.
I think they see this, and unlike the others who are scrambling for power and trying to, like, oh my god, what the hell happened here? Oh fuck, he's back. We need to stop this nonsense right now, which I think is, which I imagine is what's going on with the others. House Anrakis see the Tower of Stars on fire, and the tabla starts beating. The sitar starts going. They all crowd around their magnificent balconies, and then they watch and then they celebrate as their long lost brother is back.
Mm.
I mean, they're still going to put the knife into his belly and disembowel him and drag his entrails around the world and so on and so forth. But isn't that also a good subject for a song?
Very good. Yes, the drama has continued.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Clem. Then I will frame the question about Shahryar to you because I want it to be someone other than Saida. So Shahryar and House Ankayat, the House of the Wise. What do we see from them?
Oh, yeah, they also are adept sailors on the Void Sea, right?
I believe that's true. If we haven't mixed them up, I think that's true. Yeah.
We see, because Shahryar knows how to kill a demon now, and aided somebody who knows how to do this sort of thing leave their holdings. We see Shahryar on spread-eagled, limbs encased in wax, and these adept sailors of the Void Sea pulling ropes of Void Sea water from his lungs and his ears and his nose and his eyes, looking for any sort of knowledge imbued in these tendrils of seawater. What does he know about what happened? And
Shahryar having a bad time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in these pools, they see nothing.
Stress.
Yeah. Incredible. Okay. That concludes what may be the weirdest Blade score I've ever run.
That's high praise.
So we established that House Anrakis knows exactly what's going on, and they're having a great time. Everyone is like, "What the fuck?"
Yes. House Anixis also know what's going on, thanks to their weird leech friend. So 2 of the houses know what's going on. 3 of the houses are very confused.
Well, of those 3, 1, I think, we'll soon find out what's going on, right?
Yes.
I mean, they're the House of the Swift, justice immediate.
Yes. So, it's time for payoff for the score.
Yay!
Yay.
This is so weird, but this was technically a score. This was technically a hit you did. It's a very strange occult one, but it is.
What possible payoff could there be for?
It is a cult claim. I think that you have.
Oh yeah.
Is it the case that you have? Yeah. Is it the case that you have a spirit well now? I think it is the case that you have a spirit well.
Yeah, we have the biggest spirit well in the fucking town.
Are we allowed to access it? I don't think we're allowed to access it.
I don't think you're allowed to access it directly, but I think that you can access Wellfire in your lair now somehow. I think that you have the ability to summon up a little campfire of star flame.
Also, I can just go back and get my form from the lady who was there, and then we can just use the form. That's the point of the form.
But I think that you have the spirit well claim now. You +1 die to attune when you're in your lair or at the well itself.
I just imagine that right now no one has forms to go near the hoodoo.
Probably not, but someone's got to do it. So
yeah, someone's got to do it.
This is an international crisis.
Yes. So yeah, you have the spirit well claim. And I think that's basically your payoff. Also, Jack Clev is dead, which is,
Nice.
helpful in itself.
Finally! Suck it!
Mhm.
Also,
I do like that he was such a good swordsman that you couldn't put a nick on him in sword fighting.
Yeah.
Nor did he even die when set on fire, but somehow had the ability to like negotiate with the star. He just said no. So this guy was very badass.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, absolutely correct.
Yes, I love how this turned out. So you get 2 rep plus the target of the score being higher tier. I think in this context, given what happened, we will count the tier of the faction you targeted as 5, because I think you targeted one of the demon houses in practice. So you get then 5 rep, right? Yeah. 2 plus 3 for them being 3 tier higher than you.
Okay. I'm away from the desk, so I'm not keeping track. Someone else has to.
Okay. Someone has added the spirit well. I'll add the rep. There. That puts you 2 away from tiering up.
Nice.
Yeah. And then you take some heat for this, which is a weird one.
Yeah.
I think it was hot enough down at the well. We don't need any heat. Thanks. But
Yes.
we don't have to do
I
that.
actually have a well heat sink, so it's possible I'm going to absorb some of that.
Yes.
Just give us
I
2
think-
wanted levels and have it be done with.
I think in this case, what we will do is we will just say this is wild and devastating exposure. It's 6 by default. It could not be anything else.
Correct.
It was a high profile or well connected target, so that's once more. It didn't technically happen on hostile turf, but killing was involved. So it's a total of 9 heat, which is exactly a wanted level actually. So
I think we should
there you
add +2 for high treason. There is no high treason is not in the Blades manual, because why would it be?
Doing this?
It's high treason. You literally summoned a 6th ontological founder of the city, who may have been there from the very beginning of the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's only treason if he hadn't been there from the beginning. To you, I'm an atheist. To God, I'm the loyal opposition. I'm so sorry for quoting Woody Allen.
Well, little light ontological treason aside, it's a wanted level, yes.
Some light treason, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, which means also 1 turf.
Mm.
So we're 1 rep away.
We're only 1 rep away now. Even better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which means that you're going to need a lot of cash very soon, which is good.
Yeah, but also doesn't this mean that now Bidrohi is like even higher tier in prison?
Yes. That is. Well, he's about to be.
Yeah, I'm just saying that like.
Yeah, but he's going to be out of prison now because he's going to get smuggled out by the Vigilant.
Okay, good.
And I technically roll an entanglement, and then we do downtime and move on with our next score. You also have some stuff that kicks in. So you take -2 heat, actually, so your high treason heat goes away.
Lovely. Great. Fantastic. See, you smell high treason if you're actually in high society. Then it's just low treason.
Yes.
Great. Amazing.
So this means that we're technically at 0 heat, but I rolled a 6. So it's cooperation. Oh, that's actually a perfectly logical thing after this. A +3 status faction asks you for a favor. So we'll find out what that is, but I think someone among the people you know, such as the Blue Smoke Troop, will ask you for a favor, or the Ketrisi Dispossessed.
That makes sense.
I think this makes perfect sense, and I think this can tie into the score you want to do next anyway, because I think the Ketrisi Dispossessed would very much like to see the Majesty Bank and the devastation it caused be brought down, right? So, in fact, what the hell? I'm going to lock you into this, I think. I think that the Ketrisi Dispossessed, having seen this, are restless now. And it's not that the Ketrisi community like come to you and ask you to do this. I think the thing that happens is that there is... I mean, the Ketrisi recognize this tree, right? This is like, it looks weirdly similar to the ones back home. This has got to be an omen. And so I think there is a great sense of unrest in the Kethrisi community, and something must be done. So it's not that someone comes up to you and asks you like, "Yo, go rob the Majesty Bank," but like this has quickened thoughts of payback among the Kethrisi. I think is the logical connection.
I assume also that there's crackdowns on the Kethrisi right now by the demon
Oh,
houses.
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
But they better come talk to us first.
There's going to be crackdowns on you as well, but you have recently hidden your lair. So
Yes, that was a very smart decision on someone's part. I genuinely can't remember who, but whoever it was, good idea.
Yeah. You moved out of the big octagon and down into Gilly Gully. And so you don't technically have the hidden upgrade for your lair, but I do remember that you moved it to a less conspicuous location.
It was we talked about making it the grotto, the Kingfisher Grotto.
Yeah. All right, you haven't quite relocated yet. You took over the new farm and then you considered where to put your new lair. Well, this has just become a very high priority.
Actually, remind me, Tree. Was House Annexus setting up in Kingfisher Grotto? Someone was setting up in Kingfisher Grotto.
It wasn't Annexus. I think it was Kuset, who were the police. It might have been... Actually, wait, give me a second.
House Annexus was the only one that we were
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, no, they were, because they were like, oh my god, something very strange happened here. We must investigate. And also there's probably all kinds of things that are possible here. So there were like some excess people on site hoping to wrest it from the more legal authorities, and I don't necessarily think we can swan in there. I bet my crush from afar, the Pacifixus, would give it to us, but it would probably cost us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the entire point is to try to hide from the demon houses. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Last thing that happened was that I had Alka there go out and try to find us some property. Actually. So
yeah. Okay, so let us say then that Alcadar has found you some property, and since just the claim is a small payoff for a score such as big as this, let us just add the hidden upgrade as a payoff for this score. I think it sort of makes sense. It just became urgently necessary now.
Yeah, and we're not getting any money, right? So like, even if there was some way to make money off this, we would immediately spend it on...
Yeah. So I will add hidden, and you now have a lair hidden somewhere in Gilly Gully to which to retreat. You still also have your properties in Bundervest and whatnot, but... So I think the thing also that happens as a consequence of this, in the immediate aftermath here, you're going to do your long-term project and your downtimes. But I think actually one of the weird things that happens throughout Uduasha and that happens across the people is like, obviously everyone saw this and everyone is freaked out by it. But I think the nobility and the upper classes are going to stay freaked out, and so much ink will be wasted on what does this mean. There will be so many inquests and meetings and inquiries. But meanwhile, the common folk of Uduasha, I mean, life goes on, right? Sometimes a giraffe falls out of the tower. Sometimes it grows limbs and sets itself on fire. This was a remarkably strange occurrence, and there are many religious people who pray about it and people are afraid. But at the end of the day, you know, people gotta eat. So life goes on. People continue to go to their street food vendors, and it is the talk of the town, obviously. But I don't think that this event like causes widespread riots across the city, because, well, obviously, for one thing, the demon houses do their very best to ensure that it doesn't, and that the common folk don't find out how much they are panicking.
Here close the doors to the House of Endings. Those who dwell within are Zoheb, called Klow, Aadiyat, called Soap, Symmetry, called Tree, and Salty. I have been Prince, your host. Our city of Uduasha is based on Blades in the Dark by John Harper and Evil Hat Productions, with special thanks to Johnstone Metzger. Follow us on Twitter or support us on kofi.com/desperateattune. If you want to engage further with us, we also have a Patreon at patreon.com/desperateattune, where you will get our newsletter, extra content, and updates from Uduasha.
Next time on Desperate Attuned.
We've just unleashed a powerful new weapon. One that will finally free us. Saida said earlier that we can make our home anywhere, that Ketris was our home, that Udwasha was our home. But actually, neither is our home right now. But with this Prince of Endings on our side, the prince that shares our name, now's the time to strike. Strike against Serek or Lexus or whoever that tries to keep us down.
I agree.